For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
The government has made a request to its French counterpart. Also coming up, a guy says to the Prime Minister, Mr. Philippe J. Pierre, I am talking to you. And of course, imagine a comparison has been made. We'll discuss that during the course of the program. We have our question of the day and the NewsSpin news of the day as well. My name is Timothy Poleon. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. We are on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. And don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. We are also on Power 97.9 FM. And in just a moment, Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room, and I will be engaging you via your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. We hope that you had a fantastic weekend. So, I have confirmed that long before it accounts to the French government and the people of St. Lucia regarding what led to the death of Officer 642 Tyson, the government of St. Lucia has made a request to its French counterpart. What does it want? What has it requested of France? Believe it or not, it is another canine. Because right now, the so-called canine unit consists of only one dog. So it's asking for another one to replace Tyson. I think it would have been more prudent for the government of St. Lucia to have conducted a thorough exercise, concluded its investigation, got in the results conclusively indicating what led to the death of Tyson before it could have made another request from the French government. To me, what's the operative word there? That's a prudent thing to have done. If you entrust someone with a dog, and then that person says to you, somehow the dog died under suspicious circumstances. Now you, as a person who made the donation, you were the benefactor, you don't want to know, but tell me, what happened to the dog? Was it ill? Did somebody poison it? Etc. You would want to know conclusively what happened to that cherished animal. But this has not been done yet by the government of St. Lucia. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is dragging its feet, and yet still you go to the French and to say, can you please entrust me with another dog? Don't take me wrong. Don't believe I'm unpatriotic because I would make a particular comment. But if I were the French, I would say to the government of St. Lucia, not until you can provide me with evidence, with proof regarding the circumstances which led to the death of Tyson, I can't help you. Let's put this on pause. We are friends. Chances are I will give you another dog. But I want to know what happened which led to the death of Tyson. Is that reasonable? I think it's reasonable. But you could come asking me and begging me for another dog, and you have not accounted for the other one I gave to you? Does not make sense at all. It is not being reasonable. And juxtapose that to the Americans. Allegations of extrajudicial killings. The Americans said to the St. Lucian authorities, I will withdraw financial support to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. I will withdraw training and other resources to your officers until you could clear those matters. Make sense? You might disagree, but that's the prerogative of the Americans. And I think you should have similar conditions in this particular case. We can't give you another dog unless you can prove to us what happened to Officer Tyson. Come clean on this, do whatever you have to do, and then you will get another dog. Somebody sent me a WhatsApp message coming on the heels of operations that were conducted over the weekend in parts of the nation's capital. And it has to do with concerns that some residents of a section of the nation's capital have. And allow me to try to get this. And it's one letter that was written, sent to me on behalf of CDC residents, Jean-Baptiste resident. Letter from CDC Jean-Baptiste resident. And it says there, we, the residents of CDC, particularly Block K, wish to extend our sincere thanks to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force for the operation conducted yesterday, Sunday, in the Conway-Barnard Hill area. This action is a welcome step in the right direction, and we recognize the effort to restore law and order to a community that has been under great strain. For several months, our neighborhood has been plagued by the open peddling of drugs and ongoing disturbances that disrupt the daily lives of law-abiding residents, including police officers, who themselves live within the CDC. These activities, including the reckless discharging of firearms, have caused fear and anxiety for families who simply want to live in peace. During Sunday's operation, we noted that one shop in the area was searched and controlled drugs were recovered, leading to the arrest of its 2 owners, who are now in police custody. In addition, 2 other individuals were arrested. These efforts are commendable and provide hope that change is possible. However, a particular concern remains. There is an individual who already owns a house in a particular part of the capital, but has also been granted both an apartment and a shop within the CDC complex. That individual's establishment has unfortunately become a gathering point for criminals, turning their bar into a hotspot that undermines the safety of the community. Along with another family whose disruptive activities are well known, these individuals continue to destabilize our neighborhood. Their presence is not only a threat to peace, but an insult to the many law-abiding citizens who call the CDC their home. Mind you, this building houses law enforcement officers. That's where the disrespect lies. We are therefore appealing to the Ministry of Housing to urgently intervene, as they were the ones who granted that individual those spaces. These individuals must be evicted from the CDC complex. Their continued presence breeds crime, disrupts families, and endangers the very fabric of our community. Removing them would be a critical step toward restoring safety, peace, and respect for the law in our area. As residents, we desire nothing more than a safe and peaceful environment where children can grow up without fear and where hard-working families can rest at night without the sound of gunfire outside the windows. We call on the relevant authorities to take decisive action to address this matter before it escalates further. Yesterday's police operation was an important step. We now ask for continued enforcement and strong support from both law enforcement and the Ministry of Housing to ensure lasting change. Sincerely, a concerned resident of CDC on behalf of fellow residents. So it is for the ministry, the authorities to take the appropriate action, and we are not casting aspersion. We are not reaching any conclusion with regard to the culpability of anyone, those individuals who have been referenced as far as this letter was concerned. It must be due process, and we are not in a position to take sides on this particular matter. And one other issue before we start to take your calls on the broadcast, and before we hear as well from Amanda regarding some of your comments in the chat room. Minibus driver says there is an issue on Monjuro Street in Castries where Wasco has dug the road. This is where the Dennery Village to Castries buses park. No letter, no calls, no communication from the authorities on this. The bus drivers currently have nowhere assigned for them to park in order to provide the service to the public in the city. And that individual sent me a WhatsApp message. We will play it right now, and you'll be hearing from one of the affected drivers.
Yes. This morning, Monday morning, we come to work, and this is what we are faced with on our bus stop. There was no letters to the association, no calls, nothing like that. So as you see, we can't work. We cannot work today. We can operate in our usual spot. I think that is disrespectful Yes. This morning, man.
A minibus operator on the Dennery to Castries route, and Wasco is conducting some kind of operation there, dug up parts of that road, that's Monjuro Street or Monjuro Road, and it has disrupted the operations of the minibus operators there, and calling for some kind of action on the part of the authorities, because according to the individual, they heard him saying that they were not notified. No letter, no kind of discussion between themselves and the Water and Sewage Company. Your calls right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. WhatsApp message, somebody says there, Tim, the government is asking for another dog when they haven't resolved the Tyson issue. How shameful can this government be? I hope the French ask them to solve Tyson's death investigation first. I agree with you. The best indicator of future behavior is to look at past behavior. I would not give St. Lucia another dog, period. That's according to a WhatsApp message. And let's see if we have some more of your messages. Tim, you must be joking. I'm flabbergasted, but don't feel embarrassed to give your views. And let's see if we have some more. Okay, let me turn my attention now to you, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, News Spinners. Tim, a few comments from the chat room, and News Spinner says here, if you live in a glass house, do not throw stones, and when you can't stick blows, brother, don't throw blows. Another commentary reads, I truly hope that the French government can help the people of St. Lucia with a canine, but only if certain standards are met and a change is made. Having a canine unit truly helps. A newspaper says that the government of St. Lucia should just train one of these stray dogs. The dogs are on the crime scenes like investigators. Another commentary reads, we need to first investigate what happened to Tyson. The root cause of the problem needs to be addressed, lest it happens again and again. Someone says that I'd prefer a thorough investigation first, and the individual or individuals responsible for the death of Tyson made to account. A commentary reads, Tim, that's a smoked screen. The Labour Party at its best, secrets, lies, and propaganda. A news spinner says, since when has being reasonable been a character of the SLPs? A commentary reads, Tim, if the missing evidence in the Deleo case and the missing evidence in Shakadan's case has resurfaced, then later this week we will hear that, like Lazarus, Tyson will be resurrected. A commentary reads, Tim, that's just a gimmick. No attempt has been made in order to replace Tyson, and we know that this shameless government will try everything into making us believe that attempts are made to replace Tyson. But the French government is not as shameless and stupid enough to give this Labour government a third dog so that it can suffer the same demise as the previous two did. Someone says a ruptured 12-inch main in that road. It is causing a lot of trouble in that area. That's it for now, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Also in the chat room, somebody says, today's 2 months since Tyson's passing, Officer 642 is decomposing. So it was on the 25th of June that Officer 642 Tyson passed away, and according to the police, in suspicious circumstances. 452-2979, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, the Prime Minister stated that he has asked the French for another dog, but I listened and watched Lisa's interview with the ambassador of the French, who clearly said that's not the case. Our Prime Minister does not speak the truth. With regard to this issue, I can confirm that the St. Lucia government, has made a request for another dog from its French counterpart. So a request has been made to the French. I can confirm that. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, I listened to Countryman's latest post. Looks like you will be receiving a contribution from him soon. LOL. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Mr. Tim, we will not get another dog. And Labour Party know that. The reason why they're not saying so long the dog dying, and they ain't saying nothing, they ain't bringing up on the table and say, what is the cause of the dog? You think the Frenchman stupid? He know the Labour Party don't have no answer. They have answers, but they will not come out and say what is the cause of the dog. The Frenchman will not give them another dog. You ain't see he asking, he want to know the cause of the dog, and they refuse to say what was the cause of the dog. So the only time we'll get another Tyson, and mark my words, when United Workers' Party get in office, because of the Labour Party already proved to us they ain't saying what's wrong with the dog, and the Frenchman want to know what's wrong with the dog before they give us another dog. Let's up there, Mr. Tim.
Same to you, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, the French should give us a dog in exchange. Oh, no. Can't read this one at all. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Tim, the Prime Minister has no shame. The French, I hope, will tell him no. Sending another dog to St. Lucia is tantamount to giving the dog a death sentence. This administration does not have the first idea regarding looking after these valuable animals. Why doesn't St. Lucia ban guns and call for a gun amnesty? Then anyone caught with a gun can be arrested. Here in the UK, both gun and knife amnesties have been very active. Ban guns. Contribution coming from someone. I suspect that person is currently watching or listening to the broadcast from the UK. 452-2979. Let's take a call on the landline. I think we have one at this time. No, okay, we have lost that call. We have a WhatsApp message. Tim, did Tyson get a state funeral? If I am not mistaken, there was supposed to be one. I think Tyson is scheduled to get an official funeral, and a date has not been set. Remember the last press conference hosted by the leadership of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, a question was posed to one of the officers, and it was stated that a special committee would be established, and that is to plan a funeral service, official funeral service for Officer 642 Tyson. All right, I think we have another call. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you are on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Okay. With regards to Tyson, Tim, I have while I subscribe, let's say that first, to what you're saying concerning a full report on the reasons for Tyson's death be submitted before any dog can be given to St. Lucia. I believe that the French gave us the dog. The primary reason would have been the safety of their own borders. So I believe if it comes to it, they will accede.
Not safety of their own borders, but we benefit from it as well. Both sides benefit.
Yeah, well, yeah, I understand that. I'm not saying no. But I am thinking, yes, it was a decision, but I think when they realized that this government disbanded the unit, it meant that their borders are now exposed to all kinds of contraband. So they actually made that gesture. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking still, these guys might just be lucky enough to get another dog without giving a full description of it. But I am in total agreement that before any dog should be given to this government, that a full report should be meted out as to how Tyson came to its demise, and that some not just come to its demise, but the appropriate actions be taken, because this is the killing of a police officer, and police killings are supposed to be taken very, very seriously. It means that we have totally lost control when people can kill police officers. That means we are in the wild, wild west. So this has to be taken very seriously, and apparently this administration isn't seeing that. Hearing from one of the ministers, going through saying that a dog was murdered, taking that for a puppy show. So I really hope, Tim, that something can come out of that. I hope the French could play a little hardball and make sure that a proper investigation is done, results come out, and prosecution is done in that regard. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for calling. While we wait a call, somebody says there via WhatsApp, we the people think that it is about time we demand a live TV transmitted debate between the various political party leaders who are proposing to lead this country. The exact format, okay, I'll go through that contribution in just a moment. Let's take a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Yes, early.
Yes, caller, you are on the air.
Hello?
You are on the air. This is NewsSpin.
Yes, early. You must 50.
Okay. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Okay, let's go through that WhatsApp message. It says there, we the people think that it's about time we demand a live TV transmitted debate between or among the various political party leaders who are proposing to lead this nation. The exact format for a leaders' debate should commence with each leader making a short opening statement. Then a panel of well-known journalists who will ask sets of prepared questions, which are to be answered either by all of the leaders or by one specific leader. After the leader or leaders answer each question, the other leader or leaders may get a chance to make a brief response, after which there may be some time allocated for an often debated or heated free-for-all debate. The moderator will usually attempt to exercise some control through all of this and then stop the debate after time has elapsed so the next question can be asked. After the panelists finish asking questions, each leader will make his or her closing remarks and the debate will end. This will ensure that the public is being given a broader or clearer chance to hear and analyze the views of the person or persons bidding to represent the nation. I'm talking about this. Jamaica, there was a debate on Saturday which focused on social issues, and there's another debate that is scheduled for the 26th, that's tomorrow, and the final debate between the two leaders, that's the Prime Minister of Jamaica and the leader of the opposition, is on the 28th of this month. So we ought to follow Jamaica in this regard. Instead of having the respective leaders, such as they say the leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister, on occasions making separate presentations to the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, why not have a nationally televised debate that people, the voters, can be privy to, they can listen, they can watch, and maybe not all, because both political parties have their hardcore supporters. But there are a number of people who are not party hacks. They're just interested in wanting to find out what plans the respective parties have, what policies they have for St. Lucia, and that would influence them, whether they vote for one party or the other. That certainly, that is required. That is in sync with, modern day realities, what should happen in a transparency. That should be part of the vetting process, for our leaders who want to be Prime Minister, want to unseat this government, and who want to remain in office and so on. We need that particular process to be utilized. Let's see if you have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you are on the air. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, this person is certainly not prepared to make a contribution, but they seem to be calling nonetheless. Let me see if I have a WhatsApp message. It says there, Tim, I heard it from a credible source that Tyson was housed at the Marine Unit and all handovers are recorded, including the handling of the dog. I would make an educated guess and say the powers that be already know what happened to Tyson. WhatsApp message. Tim, the Prime Minister's announcement about securing funds for the Grizzly Highway is nothing but political theatre. It has been more than 4 years since the SLP deliberately halted the expansion of the project initiated by the previous administration, claiming corruption as the excuse. 4 years later, the people of St. Lucia are still waiting for answers. Was corruption never found? If not, what happened to the funding that was already allocated back then? If there was no corruption, then someone must be held accountable for deliberately stalling a project that should have been completed by now. That delay robbed St. Lucians of safer roads, faster travel, and stronger economic growth. To come now on the eve of elections and parade the very same project as if it's new is an insult to the intelligence of the people. The truth is, this government stopped progress, wasted years, and cost the country dearly. They cannot and should not be allowed to escape accountability. A WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Tim, St. Lucia has no dog looking like Tyson. Don't you think Tyson was an exchange? Tyson is somewhere out there. Another WhatsApp message. All right. I'm a slave with a question to my masters. When will the new kids park in Grizzly be opened? The gates have remained locked for the entire weekend. Our children need safe play spaces. I also suggest that signage be erected to deter loitering and other antisocial behavior by the fatherless youth. A WhatsApp message, and we're waiting more of your contributions. Let me turn my attention again to Amanda, and let's find out what's happening in the chat room. Good afternoon to you again.
Good afternoon again, Tim. A few comments. The NewsSpinner says there, St. Lucia has too many problems. Now it's like a time bomb waiting to explode. A commentary reads, only Superman can do that. Put that S on Stevenson's chest. A NewsSpinner says there, you all are not important. You all used to strike all the time. What happened now? A commentary reads, PJP does not care about the safety of St. Lucians because he has his personal canine unit in the Prime Minister's office. Someone says there, we need another canine. People, let's be honest. However, the investigation should be completed and the necessary changes made. A commentary reads, this is wrong, at least communicate to those who will be affected, but I guess the letter will be received after the fact. Shake my head. A NewsSpinner says there, it's good for them. Why are the bus drivers not going on strike? The prices of gas are so high. The government should even... No, we can't read that.
Okay, thank you so much, Amanda. We have a call via WhatsApp. Hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, Timothy. How are you?
I'm okay, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Timothy, for the first time, I think it's the first time, since I've been calling your show, I will identify myself so that the listening public can identify my voice when I call to make a contribution. My name is Laura Jepianuel. I am the endorsed candidate for the United Workers' Party for Labrie Auger. That is the base for which people should use to identify my voice when I make a contribution, so that they can avoid ascribing contributions that were not made by me to me. As you would know, Timothy, last week on a program, a Thursday evening talk show, the host ascribed a number of statements to me. Let me make it absolutely clear. I have never, ever called Richard Frederick a pig. Not on NewsSpin, not anywhere else. Richard Frederick took a false narrative, twisted it, and used it as the basis for a vile tirade against me. And I'm calling NewsSpin to clear the air on this because he said, I use your platform and how you are a vile person, and that's me ad-libbing, for allowing me to call him a pig on your show. This never happened. You know it never happened. And I am letting the rest of St. Lucia and the rest of the world know that it never happened. That which Richard Frederick, that whole show, that part of where he lit into me, says more about his character than it does about mine. This is the pattern that we seek too often, when some men in positions of power can't handle criticism, they resort to insults, bullying, and outright lies. But I will not be distracted, and I will not be silenced. My focus remains on the people of Labrie and Auger. In the coming weeks, they can expect to hear more about my plans for our constituency. I am on the ground. I am meeting with the constituents, I'm meeting with the residents, listening to their concerns and taking notes of the issues that matter most to them. Together, we will turn those concerns into action and ensure that the needs of our communities are met. I do not have time, nor am I the kind of person who will resort to name calling and bullying. Okay? I have never and I will never. This is not my style. This is not in my character. I am the first person, anytime anybody attempts to bully any person, to defend them, to stand in their defense. When Richard Frederick was being called a dog by Kenny Anthony and his band, I defended his name. I defended his right not to be called an animal, not to be called a dog. You think?
But I cannot remember Dr. Kenny Anthony making some reference with regard to Mr. Richard Frederick.
Who was calling him a pit bull? Who was calling him a pit bull?
Well, I think.
Who was calling him a pit bull?
Is not that something we could?
A pit bull is a dog.
Yeah. Is that something we could attribute to the supporters? I think mostly the supporters who were saying that.
No. I'm sure if we go back and we look into Hansard, and I stand corrected if I'm wrong, but I'm sure if we go look back and we go into Hansard, we will see. Okay? Richard Frederick was being called a pit bull. Guy Joseph was being called a poodle, a lap dog. Okay? I never ascribe those titles to human beings such as myself. Okay? And for Richard, a parliamentarian, to not search the veracity of his statements, to make those statements and to refer to me as a pig, as a drum, as all sorts of things. Let me tell you something, Richard. If that is the sum total of your attack on me, ufini. Okay? Ufini. Because that ain't no water to wet me. That is water of a duck's back where I'm concerned. Sebaka isala paka. They don't perturb me. Okay? I am not perturbed by this. But I'm very concerned about my constituents. The constituents who look up to me, the children who look up to me, because I am a pillar in my society. I mentor children, and for him to ascribe that kind of behavior to me, I do not want any of the parents, the children of whom I mentor, to say, wow, this is the person that we have reposed our trust and our faith of our children in her hands. Never. Okay? This is not who I am. So I want all the people out there who turn up their noses and think and believe every word that this man has to say. I want you to understand that if you do not trust the messenger, because we all know what Richard Frederick is. We know who he is. We know what's out there, right? If you do not trust the messenger, why would you trust the message? Think about this. Think about this. This is who I am. I am the kind of person, if somebody says something about me, I go to the source. I don't repeat nonsense, and I do not make it turn it into me. Okay? So Richard, point God. I am not the one. Okay? I am not the one. And for you to, the things you say about people, about women, Koponko. Thank you very much, Timothy. And I just want the rest of Labrie and Auger to understand that I am a woman of virtue and integrity. I will continue to meet with you. We will continue to converse. We will continue to make plans for our constituency. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. Just heard there from Laura Japierre, the United Workers' Party candidate for Labrie in the upcoming general election. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, during COVID-19 shutdown, 2 young ladies were busted and charged with transportation of over 300 pounds of marijuana. Tim, just like Tyson, that case just finished. Another call. This is NewsSpin. Hello. You are on the air.
Yes. Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon to the young lady.
Good afternoon
to all
Good
your
afternoon,
viewers.
caller.
Tim, man, over the weekend, history was made in the diaspora. For the first time that a young man or woman is offering themselves for politics in Denry South have ever visited the diaspora, and that was done by Benson Emil. That is history, my brother. And believe me, we were not disappointed. He delivered. He touched all the keynotes that we wanted him to, that we had interest in. And I can tell you, Tiffany, the people in the diaspora, especially the people from Denry South, was energized by Benson Emil. Believe me, I am now reassured that Denry South will be in good hands from the day Philip JPA called the election. Tim, thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Calling from New York. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, and you do not want to miss out. Still to come, some more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. So please stay with the broadcast for a limited period and only for this month. La Clinique du Corps is offering a $50 discount on all doctor consultations. $50 off only during the course of this month. So take advantage of this special offer. The broadcast continues in just a bit.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of our secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for Tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Hey Lucelec, Sherry here. I've been hearing all about my account and its features. Can you really do all that?
Absolutely, Sherry. I'm Taisha, by the way. My account is your all-in-one power hub. You can check your bills. It's even emailed to you every month. Need a copy? You can download a PDF version anytime. You can manage multiple accounts and paying is a breeze. Use your card or opt for online bank payments. Thank you. Whatever suits you best. Keeping tabs on your energy use, you got it. Track your consumption, download payment records, and see how you stack up against previous nearby.
Thanks for breaking it down A1, Taisha.
You got it, Sherry. My account puts the power in your hands. Remember, it's your energy, your way.
When the winds rage and rain pours, will you be prepared? Don't let the next hurricane catch you off guard. At MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, we understand the importance of preparation. From generators to plywood, we have everything you need to weather the storm. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt today and make sure your family is safe and secure this hurricane season. Play it safe. Get prepared.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Boutte. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home, we've got the mortgage. Starting your first business, count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
That's gone for 6. The Republic Bank CPL is here and the biggest party in sport just got bigger. This August, all roads lead to Darren Sammy Cricket Ground as the St. Lucia Kings light up the island with explosive home games from August 23rd to 31st. Every six, every wicket, every roar from the crowd is a shot of pure Caribbean adrenaline. So grab your tickets now at cplt20.com or at your local box office. It's time to turn up for the biggest party.
This is the world's most monitored talk show. It's called NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM, as well as the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. And let's see there if we have some of your WhatsApp messages to go through. Tim, please skip that KFC ad. Just came from the cul-de-sac branch and they gave me no chicken. Maybe you didn't purchase any. Another WhatsApp message. Somebody says that, Tim, most of us have our little mongrels at home and we enjoy the protection that they give us. Can you imagine the benefits of a police dog? And people think that we should just hush and allow this government to get away with what happened to Tyson. I say no way. Somebody says, I have 3 daughters and I will not stand for anyone disrespecting or insulting them. Some more of your WhatsApp messages while we are awaiting your calls. Somebody says there, so good day, Tim. So disappointed in the UWP Live last night. We can do better than that. Let us not go down the gutter like the other party. It was distasteful. Flubbo can do better than that. A WhatsApp message. All right, let's take a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Please go ahead with your contribution, caller.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
How are you, sir?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm great. Hold it in there. Tim, there was some lie detectors that was going on in in Marigot, somewhere in Marigot, concerning Tyson. I think it was done by the government. They had a force down here in St. Lucia that was carrying out an investigation with the police, customs, and everybody about Tyson. So there was something going on. What took place after the lie detectors who got in, who they had on the investigation, I am not too sure. I know for sure the government had something going. There was quite a bit of police officers because I passed there and I saw them.
Okay, but let me give you the facts. Okay, all I'm telling you is, caller,
yes, sir.
The government is dragging its not the government. Let me be more precise. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is dragging its feet in terms of concluding that investigation into the death of Tyson. That is a fact. Okay, let's not complicate it. The police,
something
are dragging their feet on this. They are dragging their feet on this. I don't know if it's deliberate or otherwise.
But something have to be done. I concur with everything about that. I quite agree with you. Tim, another thing, Tim, people are saying that we have difficulties entering the U.S. because they put some embargo or some restriction and solutions. Tim, you know it's easier for me to enter St. Lucia. Harder for me to enter St. Lucia than going into the U.S., Tim. Tim, presently, I entered the U.S., Tim. I was not searched. My bag was not open. They never even asked me how long I came there for. I entered the U.S.
You one of the people. You one of the people with a diplomatic passport, caller.
Tim, I wish I had that. Tim, maybe they would maybe carry me into America. If I had a diplomatic passport, they would carry me in because the way I got treated there, Tim, one of the problems that we face is that you can't come to America, spend 5 months, and after spending 2 weeks in St. Lucia, you go back to America. What are you going back and do in the people land? You understand? You can't come to America. They give you 6 months. You spend in 6 months, 2 days, and then you expect to come back to America without having a problem with the U.S. government? Tim, it is not sometimes, a lot of times, Tim, we put things on ourselves. Tim, I entered the U.S. more than once, and they would never ask me. They don't ask me. Once in a while, they ask my wife, how long you staying, ma'am? And my wife would answer, I myself would answer, couple of weeks. Tim, I don't have a problem with the U.S. And I see we came up with a plane full. 80% of the person was on board was black people. Tim, I looked to see if they was going to send us back or send people back, Tim. Tim, not one St. Lucian was sent back. Not one American was sent back. Everybody enter, Tim. And I find we need to find out exactly what is happening before we come out and make those kind of statement or dirty or tarnish our reputation that they're putting some kind of law on, St. Lucians and so on. So far, it is harder for me to enter St. Lucia. So when I enter St. Lucia, Tim, they're opening my bags. They're checking me. They're doing all kind of things. So I am telling you, this is exactly what I'm going through when I enter the U.S. without an issue. Or when I enter St. Lucia, I having an issue. Have a nice day, Tim.
You too, sir. Thank you so much for calling, sir. We have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says, good afternoon, Tim. Referring to the message you read from a contributor earlier regarding the Flambeau Live last night, while I agree that there were aspects of the live where the bar could have been raised, I want to highlight the presentations by Laura Jean-Pierre on behalf of women and that of Harold Stanislas revealing some of his plans for the constituency of Soufrière. Those were certainly of a high standard, and I would like to applaud both of them. WhatsApp message 452-2979 for your calls. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says that, Tim, I want to know what was the reason for stopping the roundabout in Redway 4 years ago. What did the Minister of Infrastructure found that was so bad with the project? At that time, Tim, he was heading the ministry. Shame on King and also the Prime Minister. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Somebody says that this is the debate format that takes place in the U.S. I think it will give the public a clearer understanding as to who to cast their vote for. Not for party, but who will enhance the country and the local community. I think it's time we in St. Lucia get politically savvy and do what is best for us and not the representatives who make empty promises, fill their pockets, and sometimes abandon us. I'm appalled with the lack of transparency from the SLP, and this has to stop, and we the people are the ones to put a stop to it. The caller is right. I came home a few weeks ago, I was searched, and then I came back home and just walked out of customs. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Hi, Tim. Good
Yes.
afternoon. Hi, Timothy. This is my first time calling your show.
Thanks for calling, ma'am.
Yes, because I have an issue that's been ongoing, and I know a lot of the locals are going through it and nobody's saying anything. And it has to do with the two companies we have down here who are providing cooking gas, especially the 30-pound cylinder. Timothy, Friday was my breaking point because my neighbor went to get 2 tanks. He's used salt, I have rubies. And both of the cylinders, when the driver brought the cylinder for the gentleman, either one of the cylinders were connecting to the stove, Timothy.
Mm.
And the guy has 3 new heads. Okay. And each one we put, as soon as you click it down, you just in the gas ring. Right. When we finally got through with somebody was looking like the solution to us was to bring the tank back down, change it where we bought it, and they would give us another tank.
But that's not
And
your
each time we
fault.
do that, Timothy,
The problem, that's not your
it's not
fault.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, Timothy, and that has been going on for a while.
So couldn't they have sent a technician
I have
to the home to see what was happening? What is the problem?
The technician will only come like if you have the larger tanks, the ones that outside and you connect it inside,
Mhm.
and they go to
The
like
100
people
pound.
with, like if you have a bakery and you have those, right?
Okay.
And you have the bigger tanks, they will send a technician. But for the 30-pound cylinder, you're on your own.
Mm.
And I realized what they did, Timothy, is they pinned the tank. The tank looking brand new. The outside is painted, the blue shining, the green shining. But the tank has a problem because they are not maintaining the heads.
They are faulty.
Yeah, and then people go to all kind of Jimmy flicks to make the tank work. The last time the lady told me she had to put a block on top of the tank.
Wow. And that's not
Another
safe.
one saying she roll in a little piece of foil
And that's
to
not
make
safe.
the 2 pin connect.
That is not safe at
Exactly,
all.
this is dangerous.
Yeah, that's not safe.
This is
Wow.
dangerous. Your house can blow up,
Mhm.
or you in there sleeping and the gas is flowing, and tomorrow morning they find you dead in your house.
Wow.
Right? They need to check on those things. And it's been going. They had one time, Timothy, because I do catering. They had one time I had to make 2 trips down to the gas station on the chaussee. And each time I had to pay the driver. It's not freeness because I'm not mobile. I had to, when I paid the driver $20 for the first trip, $20 for the second trip, just to change the tanks. Right? I think Friday was my breaking point because I was like, enough is enough. People need to talk about those things because the companies are making money. This is what people use, is rubies or salt. There's no other gas we use in here, so they are making money. How hard it is when the people bring back the tank, which is not working, you all flag it, put a mark on it, put it to a side. So when it gets down to the refilling station, that they know to check it, see what's the problem. If it's the head, change the head.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because the gentleman has 3 heads, Timothy. Not if he had one, I would say, okay, well, I want. He has 3 different heads, and each time he go, they're making him buy a head. But the problem is with the tank. Now, I know this your show is the most monitored show. I hope they're listening.
I'm sure
to
they're
please
monitoring.
address
I'm
the
sure.
problem.
I am sure as we speak, ma'am, they have gotten a report on this. I'm just hoping that they will act on it as quickly as possible.
Yes, because that's a dangerous situation, especially if it's an elderly person. What if it's someone that living by themselves?
Yes.
Timothy,
It
if you
is.
saw how much we struggle on Friday to connect those tanks. and nothing was working. The gentleman had a block on, and he said he puts the block on it. That is dangerous.
Okay,
Timothy,
ma'am.
thank you,
All
and I
right.
hope they address that situation.
All right, thank you so much for calling. I could assure you,
You're
ma'am. Thank you. I could assure you that your call was not in vain, and the authorities will act on it. Because I imagine even by now they would have been updated and informed of that particular situation. Amanda, good afternoon to you again. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
A few comments from Aaliyah Tim and NewsSpinner says there the traffic level is ridiculous. The fall lane from Shock to Grizzly is needed. That fall lane is highly needed with the extended amount of vehicles that are currently in St. Lucia. Our commentary reads, Tim who took responsibility for the cow that damaged the man's car. A NewsSpinner says they're in opposition. PJP said he can take up Chasney in a debate anytime. I am sure he will never take up the challenge now. A commentary reads, Stephenson King and Richard Frederick holding the same portfolios they held under a UWP administration. They were deemed the worst ministers holding those ministerial posts, and now they are worst under the current administration. Both ministers stopped projects started by the UWP administration, pending investigations that projects were either not approved. Stephenson King is the worst because the projects that were abruptly halted were approved under his watch as a UWP minister. Richard Frederick, on the other hand, we know he has a personal vendetta. Commentary reads, I am appalled at the condition of the outfield at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground after spending millions for the upgrade. What a shame and embarrassment to see when we both said that we have the best in the Caribbean. A commentary reads, I hope you get feedback, team, as to the response from the French authorities. As far as I'm concerned, the response should have already been forthcoming from the minute the request was done. Let's deal with the Tyson situation first. Someone says there, honest question, isn't it possible to train some local mongrels to detect contraband? Local mongrels are already poison proof. Someone says there, the French would give such an expensive dog and they do not know how the first expensive dog died. This government is shameless, shameless beggars. Commentary reads, if the people of the country did not make some noise, they would have buried Tyson quietly. They wanted to cover up something. A NewsSpinner says there, that's the second dog that has died under an SLP administration. What third dog are you asking for? A NewsSpinner says there, the French invest heavily in St. Lucia and Dominican crime fighting to keep our criminals off the streets. A commentary reads, a political debate would be great, but I'm more concerned about having free and fair, transparent elections. A NewsSpinner says, caller, you are so right. The ambassador is very much interested in doing business with St. Lucia, so I'm sure he will be concerned to secure tight security of the country. A commentary says, code of conduct for politicians, make it happen. Someone says, Revolution politics is just Roro and Comedy Central. It's sickening. Commentary says that's for the Bureau of Standards to ensure the tanks work properly. A few comments here from YouTube. A NewsSpinner says all the SLP supporters who saying that it's just a dog. Imagine how much our own little mongrels are protecting us, and that our homes are and most of us cherish them for life. How can you all downplay Tyson? A commentary says canines are not ordinary dogs. And a commentary from YouTube reads, Tim, do you think the government has respect for the citizens? This government is very disrespectful. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. We have a few more updates to come from you, so thank you so much, and stay tuned to you, the audience. WhatsApp message, somebody says, why would a speaker publicly say that the journalist should be charged? This is unprofessional and outside the speaker's role, as it prejudges an ongoing investigation and undermines press freedom. Also, WhatsApp message, this lady is right about the tanks. I have the same issue. Rubis needs to go. I have to put a block on the tank's head. Shaking my head. Let's see, another WhatsApp message. Always listening to Power 97.9, and someone said that they were not searched at U.S. Customs. He may not be searched by someone, but the canines have already done so before collecting our bags at the carousel. All bags are sniffed by trained canine dogs before bags are collected. A call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Team and Amanda, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, caller.
Tim, I called because the gentleman who called touting how easy it is to enter the United States as opposed to entering St. Lucia, and you probably figure somebody like me would come and call to take him on, right? What he failed to mention is that when you go to the United States as a St. Lucian or people from most places around the world, you have already been vetted. You've applied for a visa. You've given your financial information. They know almost everything they need to know about you. And even on their own, they've already done a background check on you. You know, your FBC, if you have an FBI file and all kinds of stuff on you. And they open one on you if you don't have it. When your bags leave the plane in the United States, most airports, not all of them, and some of us know which ones have it, they have already scanned your bag from the plane to the carousel, you know. And for him to say you can enter the United States easier than St. Lucia, yes, because you've been vetted. They know how many hairs are growing on your arms, you know. So this is not a fair comparison. St. Lucia does not have that technology. The passengers who board a plane from anywhere in the world landing in St. Lucia do not have the information on them that the United States have on the people who board a plane coming to the United States. You understand the difference, right? Before you arrive, even when you book your tickets, and people in the travel industry and people who know can tell you, even when you book your ticket, sometimes the airline, since 9/11, that's what was happening. The computers were not talking to each other. That's why they brought everything on the Homeland Security. When you book your ticket now, if you do it last minute, you are going to be under greater scrutiny because they haven't had a chance to scout. The computers haven't scouted everybody's information and run it against the databases in the United States. That's what they do. So by the time you land there, and even when you arrive off the plane, there are cameras looking at you, looking at your body language, what you do, how you act, and they know who to pull from the line and if to pull them, who appears suspicious and stuff like that. We don't have that in St. Lucia. You can barely run from the plane into the arrival lounge in St. Lucia without getting wet or being burned by the sun. You know, sometimes your plane park, you wonder why is your plane park half a mile away and you have to walk all these distances at the international airports in the United States to get to your destination. They're watching you. They're monitoring your every move, you know. If sometimes people arrive and they go to the washroom and they come back out and customs pull them over for questioning or whatever, they're wondering, why they pull me over? Because they didn't see what you did in the washroom after you arrived. Sometimes they do it, not always. So I'm not saying he's totally wrong. Yes, he enters with ease, but that's because he has to bear in mind they have almost all the information they need, or maybe more than they need on you. St. Lucia doesn't have that luxury, so people shouldn't make those unfair comparisons. Thank you, Tim.
All right, thank you so much for calling, sir. That's a caller from the Diaspora. Let's see if we have some more of your messages to go through. And somebody says that via WhatsApp, this is the debate. Okay, I think I read that earlier on. Let's take another call. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, good day to you, Tim. Mr. Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
To Amanda and to all the listeners of the program as well.
Good afternoon,
Tim. I wanted to touch specifically on a particular subject. A gentleman brought up that issue, I think, sometime last week or week before. But before I go there, I just wanted to second what the previous caller was talking about. So, yeah, I mean, they have all the information on you and everything, so. And when you're arriving in St. Lucia, those guys are more checking to see if you're bringing anything that they can make some money for the government, anything that they know, you know, they can, you know, send you to pay the extra money and stuff like that. So, because they know that your luggage and everything has already been gone through the scan, sniffed by the dogs and everything. So, they really, when you arrive in St. Lucia, they're just checking to make sure that whatever you declare, you say you have, you're not bringing anything extra, so that you know you don't have to pay for that.
Or anything that can be seized.
Right. So basically, that's the difference. But when you arrive in the U.S., yes, every day the bags have already gone through, because when you arrive at the airport, especially if you connecting, you have to go through the process all over again. So they have to send it through that scanner and everything, and underneath. the areas that we don't see. As that bag is making its way from where you check it in onto the plane, it has to go through the whole process and everything, for them to do the whole scanning and everything. So as the previous gentleman said, there's no comparison there. So when callers are calling sometimes, let's just, make sense out of what we're trying to say, I get his concern in terms of the reputation of St. Lucia, and if anything has not been substantiated yet, people should not just be calling and just, putting information out there about the country that has not, been, basically that the government has not sanctioned as yet. So I understand that concern. But Tim, one of the issue I really wanted to talk about was, and because this is kind of like my wheelhouse, being an ex-police officer, I really wanted to work with young people, because when I was growing up, it was people in my neighborhood that helped me to stay on that straight path. You can relate, and I'm sure most people in our age growing up in St. Lucia, we can testify to that. There were people that checked on us, made sure that we stayed, positive as much as possible. So the gentleman a couple of weeks ago, or if not last week, he was talking about St. Lucia not having a defense force. And then I listened to a young man that you had played a recording, a young man that resides in the U.S. now for I think 12 years.
Yes.
And he was talking about the young people and why there are not enough things to attract them and stuff. So I just have a couple of questions, Tim, because I don't live in St. Lucia. The boys training center in Masad, when was the last time they did complete renovation or even add on to that?
Well, I think as a matter of fact, what they're trying to do is to expand the program, and I think there's some plans to relocate that institution from the area which is located now at Masad, Grizzly, to one of the island's secondary schools. And that school, I think, it was shuttered for a while because, we're going through that problem with the population decline. So we don't have the birth rate, decline of the birth rate. So we don't have so many students now to occupy the various classes that we have. So I think one particular learning institution, I think it's getting all set to house the wards of the Boys Training Center. And there they will be looking to expand the program.
Exactly. And so they're thinking in exactly that way I was thinking, Tim, because I'm saying you can have one down in the south, you can have one up in the north, you know what I'm saying? And you can house those young men in those institutions because, Tim, not every one of those guys, as you know, when they go up to Bordelais and stuff like that, before the case is heard, they're up there for a while. So when they come back, they come back out, they're angry. I heard someone, mention that last week. When those guys come out, they're angry at, because they know, some of them know they were not directly involved or whatever, or if they were involved, it's on a smaller level. And the real guys that are contributing to the crime and the gang leaders and stuff are the ones getting off. So those young guys, they're coming out and they're coming out hardened and everything, and they themselves go full blown into the crime and stuff like that. So I am happy to hear that is part of the plan, Tim, because what I'm saying is I think they need to make almost the cadet corps mandatory, or make it as so they can track the young guys that are kind of not really that good in terms of the mathematics and stuff like that, and they can have them take up the cadet corps as a core subject, and then from there I think St. Lucia you can add more to the SSU if people are saying we don't need an army or stuff like that. We can just add more to the SSU because if some of these young men are so hardened and they're so intent on engaging in killing people and stuff like that, why not make them productive? Why not use them for something good? So you could encourage them to be part of the cadets and stuff like that. So that training and all that good stuff they can use. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, channel the energies in the right direction.
Challenge the energies in the right direction because as the young man was saying, Tim, not everybody wants to do football.
Yeah.
Or even if you do football, it's only for a short while.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you grow out to that. So you have something that they can use in a positive way, whereby they can make a positive contribution, and they're not easily influenced by the gang leaders and stuff. Because Tim, as you know, yes, a lot of those young guys, they're going to school, they're going to primary school, and then they're transitioning into secondary school. But a lot of them, they're leaving, and they're not really interested in the academic aspect of school and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So they can find ways how to incorporate those things. And Tim, I also think it's about time, and I know I might get some flack for that, because I know people say, okay, you live in the U.S., but I think they can add more to the government could consider putting resource officers, allocating resource officers to the schools. They can have police officers. So when the police are there interacting with some of these young men and stuff like that, they can then build a profile on some of these young men and stuff like that. That will help when they leave school. The police can keep a better eye on some of them and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Because the problems are starting in the schools, and those young men, when they turn 16, they're happy to leave school, and that's how they are so easily influenced by the gang leaders. And those are some of the things contributing to some of the problems we have in St. Lucia. So I just thought I would touch on that subject. I was trying to call a couple of weeks ago when the gentleman called, and I wanted to add my 10 cents piece to that. But those are some of the things the government can look at so that we could try to get our young men more productive in society.
All right,
Thank
sir.
you, Tim.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's see there via WhatsApp. And somebody says, I spent $1,500 today on vet bills for my 4 dogs. My dogs do not know how to find guns, drugs, or people, but they give me love and protection. Tyson could do more than they do. I wonder whether his health or well-being was ever considered. Imagine that now the doctors are involved in trying to figure out from an autopsy what happened to him. There are no answers. Yeah, some people do take care of the dogs, take care of their animals, and that is why it is so unfortunate that a dog that was placed in the care of the state has responsibility for assisting in terms of maintaining law and order and preventing illegal firearms and ammunition and contrabands, etc., from entering our shores, along with doing police work with our officers on the ground. That dog dies, according to the police, under suspicious circumstances. And exactly 2 months after its death, you don't observe or get the impression that there's this urgency on the part of the authorities to get to the bottom of that death. Instead, what the authorities have done, what the government of St. Lucia has done, is to place and make another request to the government of France for another dog. Still to come on the broadcast, somebody says that Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre and Sir John Compton have a few things in common. Stay with us.
We've just finished dinner, and before we all head off, let's do something very important. Let's go over our hurricane prep list. We need food, water, medicine, important documents. What else? Right, the generator. This year, I'm not taking any chances. I'm getting ours from Europa Hardware in Massad Grizzly. Best prices around, and believe me, I don't want to hear, Daddy, the Wi-Fi's down when the power's out. Keep your family comfortable. Get your generator at Europa Hardware. Call us.
All is available for all services except payments. Customers who wish to make payments during disclosure are encouraged to access the My Account service at myaccount.lucelec.com. SurePay's online and walk-in service options, or participating financial institutions. Payments made via SurePay and My Account Direct on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. will be processed to customer accounts the same day. Payments made after 4 p.m. will be processed the next business day. For account balances, please dial the automated account inquiry service line at 457-4433. Customers can access other Luselect services by using the virtual service desk at luselect.com. The management of Luselect deeply regrets any inconvenience caused by this closure and thanks its valued customers for their patience and understanding.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
Whoa. It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong, no matter what we keep things flowing. People we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky, celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of a secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
In the blink of an eye, disaster can strike. Are you ready? When the winds rage and the rain pours, will you be prepared? Don't let the next hurricane catch you off guard. At MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, we understand the importance of preparation. From generators to plywood, we have everything you need to weather the storm. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt today and make sure your family is safe and secure this hurricane season. Play it safe. Get prepared.
Yes. That was the Lucia Top 5 for Carnival 2025. Yes. Welcome back to Real Men Take Charge, guys. Real men, check up.
To all my listeners out there, visit a men's health clinic in your area.
I'm going. Fellas, it's time to check your PSA levels. It's free, it's simple, it can save your life.
Brothers, do you not know that your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit? Let us be wise stewards of our lives. Prostate test saves lives. Let us not wait until it is too late.
To be a champion, you need to show up for yourself. I'm encouraging every man to take the step. Get checked. Stay strong. Do it for the team. Do it for your family.
My daddy is a hero, and I want him around for a very long time. Daddy, if you care about me, please take care of your health.
I faced colon and prostate cancer head on, and I'm still standing. Early detection saved my life. If I can do it, so can you. Don't wait. Get tested. It's free, it's simple, and it will definitely save your life also.
Real men.
Real men.
Real men take charge.
Real men check up.
The Republic Bank CPL is here, and the biggest party in sport just got bigger. This August, all roads lead to Darren Sammy Cricket Ground as the St. Lucia Kings light up the island with 5 explosive home games from August 23rd to 31st. Every six, every wicket, every roar from the crowd is a shot of pure Caribbean adrenaline. So grab your tickets now at cplt20.com or at your local box office. It's time to turn up for the biggest party in sport.
Much of the passion of the leader, Philip J. Pierre, is one which resonates in my mind of Sir John's passion. A passion for the people, helping the people, the quality of life, standard of living, providing the needs of the people, and being focused, laser focused on that scenario. So for me, it is like what I'm engaged in now is a government led by a gentleman who mirrors a lot of the qualities of Sir John. Much of the passion of the leader, Philip J. Pierre, is one which resonates in my mind of Sir John's passion. A passion for the people, helping the people, the quality of life, standard of living, providing the needs of the people, and being focused, laser focused on that scenario. So for me, it is like what I'm engaged in now is a government led by a gentleman who mirrors a lot of the qualities of Sir John.
There, Mr. Stevenson King. This clip extracted from a Choice News Now report, making the comparison between Philip J. Pierre and the late Prime Minister, the father of the nation, Sir John Compton. Absolutely no comparison at all. Okay, you can't do that. None at all. Sir John Compton, you could describe him as peerless. Can't compare Sir John Compton with Kenny Anthony, Alan Chastney, Stevenson King, Philip J. Pierre, Mikey Pilgrim, Alan Louisi, Winston Snack. No comparison at all. All right, let's see if we could have some more WhatsApp messages. Somebody says there via WhatsApp. Okay, the person says via WhatsApp, do you know that any cow, goat, pig, any animal that dies from an accident or any trauma, their meat cannot be eaten because of some chemical reaction that happens inside of them from the trauma? I wonder how many of those animals are slaughtered and sold for food after an accident. I cannot eat any kind of meat or fish because I love animals so much. When a cow is going to be slaughtered, ever wonder why he pulls back when he is entering the slaughterhouse? It is because he smells the blood from the previous slaughter. God said, eat from the land. He also said, take care of my animals, and I will take care of you. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And a long one, the person says, then for some time now, and even more so over the past 4 years in particular, we have been hearing the outrage and pleas of victims of vile, malicious, and misogynistic attacks by the host of the Thursday night program, who sadly is a minister of government and parliamentary rep, on citizens of St. Lucia, especially women. This talk show host is unbridled and seems not to be bound by any standard of decency or principles of responsible journalism. What do these people have in common? For sure, they're not being attacked because they did anything to the host of the show, but simply because they dared to have a different political view to him. The grave sin for which they have been excoriated and subjected to these unprovoked attacks is simply because they are supporters of the UWP and, by extension, Alan Chastney, nothing else. They are victims of a deep-seated hatred against Alan Chastney and the UWP by the host Richard Frederick Tim. This hatred is like a fast-moving current or tornado that has sucked many people, including professionals, civil society, and those who should know better, into its orbit. As a result, they have chosen to remain silent in the face of these brutal attacks and violations of the civil rights of these persons. It is worth noting that many of these same persons were quite vocal before 2021. Such double standards and hypocrisy. Tim, how much longer will this be reprehensible behavior be tolerated and be allowed to continue? Or has the Prime Minister allowed this tirade and obnoxious behavior unbecoming of a minister against ordinary citizens to continue? This has got to stop. It's time for all right-thinking St. Lucians to come together to stop this nonsense once and for all. Prime Minister needs to act now. Another WhatsApp message, Tim, Stephenson King is the biggest ever, and now he's proven to be out of his mind. How dare him compare Sir John to Philip J. Pierre? Shame on you, King. So says a WhatsApp message. Another one says, I think Stephenson King is sniffing the old oil at some company. And let's see another one. All right. Okay, let's see if we have some more WhatsApp messages. Tim, I concur that entering St. Lucia from overseas is an unnecessary hassle. As a St. Lucia national who only left St. Lucia only 2 weeks prior, one faces redundant questions, backward processes, and undue luggage screening. The important aspect is the use of modern and effective screening, such as the K9 unit and other mechanisms to prevent the entry of weapons or drugs, rather than digging bags for few personal effects. It indeed feels more welcoming to enter the U.S. than your own home country. And that's according to a WhatsApp message. The other one says there, did King fall on his head? According to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have another contribution. Hey, Tim, I just want the listeners to know that the gas tanks has a black rubber to seal the head to prevent the gas from leaking or escaping. Over time, it dry rots or splits, cracks, etc. So every time the company refills the tanks, those rubbers need to be checked. I have been through it. And some more of your contributions. Somebody says there, please call 457-4355. That's 457-4355 to report the fault. This is head office for one of the fuel companies. 457-4355. And another WhatsApp message, Denry North will be on good hands or in good hands with Bradley. Keep on the great job, young man. All the best on your journey. And another WhatsApp message. Somebody says, Tim, some of the pins in the gas heads are too short. And another contribution, somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, Compton must have turned in his grave, but King's obviously begging for acceptance. All right, let's see what's happening via you, Amanda. A final update from you.
Tim, a few comments from earlier. NewsSpin says, Team, take your bow. NewsSpin gets called for tut bagay. Wasco problems, gas issues, road conditions, crime, politics, relationship problems. Tim is the man for all seasons. A commentary reads, some tanks are tall, some are short. What the customers have to do, whenever they buy the gas, just look at which tanks work better with their regulator. A NewsSpinner says they're both public and private sectors. All of them are monitoring the most monitored talk show in the world. So they are hearing the calls and reading the comments. If not, there's someone that is monitoring on their behalf, but they're getting the message. A commentary reads, Atlanta has the most advanced airport security system in the world. Someone says there it's called profiling. Advanced passenger notification is standard. It's a standard operation. A commentary reads, St. Lucia does not have information on all St. Lucians. Example, a copy of all our fingerprints to use for comparisons to those collected from crime scenes. A NewsSpinner says they're requesting another Tyson is another election ploy to fool the people again. Also, why requesting another dog and are not aware of the cause of death of Tyson number 1 if it was poisoned or murdered. A commentary reads, I do not think people understand how truly important the Cadet Corps is. A commentary reads, I cannot wait to hear from my beloved Sir Rick Wayne on the NewsSpin question of the day as to what are some of the qualities that our Prime Minister has similar to that of Sir John Compton. Please, Sir Rick, I'm dying to hear from you as someone who knew Sir John Compton very well. Someone says our PJP should never be compared to Sir John. Sir John was a leader, PJP is a follower. A commentator says St. Lucia's people, need to go to protest in front of the French embassy for justice for Tyson. That is the only way we St. Lucians will get answers. A commentary reads, I will find it hard to believe that the autopsy is not providing answers to Tyson's death. Impossible. Commentary says Sir John and PJP has nothing in common. They are exactly opposite in character, people person, a worker, creative, speaking the truth, public speaking, statesmanship, and wisdom. A commentary says that person has a poor judgment of character, poor job. A new spinner says Sir John Compton would never sell our passports. Crime would be under control. I assure you heads would roll for missing evidence. Top police would be out of office. A commentary reads, Sir John would never have Richard Frederick in his cabinet as we speak. That's it from me, Tim.
All right, thank you so much. That was your final update. Time now for the NewsSpin question of the day. The NewsSpin question of the day reads, PJP has a few things in common with Sir John. What say you? The NewsSpin question of the day, PJP has a few things in common with Sir John. What say you? And finally, the NewsSpin news of the day reads, Postal services in India, Europe, and the UK to suspend the shipment of packages to the US over import tariffs. Postal services in India, Europe, and the UK to suspend shipment of packages to the United States over import tariffs. As a broadcast, thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Continue to enjoy your day, and we'll be back, God willing, tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. Goodbye.